Make the ground shake.
To max out those grippers, you're almost always stronger with your hand pulled back. And in the end, you're not so, come on up here a second. Okay. When you're arm wrestling, right, that isn't what a good arm wrestler, what you'll feel from a good arm wrestler. Right. What you'll feel from a good arm wrestler is his fingers flat like that, you know? Yeah. Those grippers, to minimize that gripper, if you squeeze my hand like it's a gripper really, really hard, you just open yourself up to being top roll, right? What you need is what I believe, we're going to talk to terminology, like I believe this is what they call by cupping, is this relaxed finger curling stuff.
That's how you cup?
I believe cupping is this. We're going to talk about it.
Okay, we cut this game.
For the purposes of this talk, cupping is fingers fairly relaxed, pulling back. Rising is just this, pronating and supinating, okay? Yeah. If those aren't the correct terms, you can Google them later and correct me later, but when I say cupping, this is what I need. So if he's top rolling, I'm going to counteract his top roll by cupping. And cupping is just making my fingers basically into a hook and pulling back, okay?
Back pressure. I kind of like just parking your wrist.
Well, back pressure can be up like this. Cupping is a hand thing. It's not an arm motion thing. So if he's top rolling out like Travis would, cupping is just me. Basically, these fingers are in a hook. Okay. Rising can either be with your knuckles down or up, but it's that. Pronating and supinating. And for the purposes of tonight, cupping is the most important thing you train, and then some kind of side pressure with your arm, and then rising. If you're an inside puller or a shorter person, if you're a taller guy or a top roller, then you train your rising, your side, and then your cupping in that order. All right. Leverage. Arm wrestlers are constantly talking about leverage. This guy's got leverage, that guy. Leverage and genetics are the two terms I hear all the time. What are the good genetics for arm wrestling?
Big hands, short arms.
Big hands for sure. You said short arm. So what do they mean by leverage? And they say he's got these long levers. Or, the way I mostly hear it is long levers, because it's usually said with a British accent. Is the longer arm an advantage?
Can be for sure. It can be, but
not
easy.
Can be.
Does it open you up on a shorter person? Because you have to come down to their
longer arm an advantage?
Yeah.
For leverage? I'm asking you. Yeah.
No.
Why not?
Depends on how you arm wrestle, but if you're arm wrestling on the inside.
I got breaker bars.
You need a longer arm breaker
bar.
It is like a breaker bar.
Yeah, that's disadvantage.
Right.
You have more travel.
So is the longer arm an advantage if we're using the breaker bar analogy?
Yes, for sure.
Yes, for sure. They come on up here. We all know what the dad move is. We are going to pick on the Canadians a lot because they name so much shit and they name things so wrong. Do we know what the dad move is?
Yeah. I don't.
Nobody knows what the dad move is?
John does.
Okay. The dad move is, so if we're arm wrestling like this, the dad move is the ability to grab somebody down here and arm wrestle, okay? And the dad move is embarrassing to the guy you're doing it to, okay? But, now think about, I don't mean to embarrass you. But you gotta ask yourself, why would this be embarrassing?
Because
You're taking away any leverage that I have. You're just,
I'm making your arm shorter.
yeah, and you're taking
Is that
all of
even
it.
allowed?
Wait a second.
You're taking all
I'm
of
making
it.
your arm shorter, which
Yeah.
is giving you an advantage.
For sure it is.
So the longer arm is not
For
an
sure.
advantage, right? If having a longer arm was an advantage, people would not be triple capping to try to top roll, right? When you're trying to top roll and you're trying to get a leverage advantage, I'm trying to get as far away from that elbow as I can, right?
Yeah.
Like a breaker bar. I'm trying to get a long breaker bar on that elbow, okay? But the dad move is embarrassing because I grab him right close at the end and can hold it. The longer arm is not an advantage, leverage-wise. Long arms have two advantages that get confounded with leverage. One is, at the end of a long arm is usually a giant hand. Okay? And that giant hand is an advantage. There's a big difference if you go ahead and close your, if I close my hand and I got my fingers on the back of his hand versus my palm on the back of his hand. That giant hand gives you an advantage because it shortens the leverage between the wrist and where your hand contacting is. So a big hand is an advantage, and it's usually at the end of a very long arm. The other advantage that these long arms get is if, let's see, how do I want to set this up? Okay, so if I got a long arm, to exaggerate it, this will simulate me having a longer arm than him, okay? So at this point, he still has a leverage advantage on my elbow, but the one thing I have, I got two advantages on him with my longer arm. One, when he goes over to a pin, I can reach farther across the table. He runs out of table, and he still hasn't pinned my long arm. The second thing is what long arm people can do, and this is what Travis has onto a science, is they plant that weight on that elbow, and they can generate all kinds of height. All right, and once his elbow comes off the elbow pad, right? Unless he's got crazy shoulder and back strength, he's got no side pressure anymore, right? And I'm not using all kinds of strength anymore. What I'm doing is I'm resting on my skeletal structure to generate height. So those are the advantages of a long arm, but it's not leverage, okay? So for the rest of the night, we just got to agree that what leverage is, okay?